U.S. right now.
You know, I flew 20 hours to get here just for this event.
Did you
People
really?
are like, oh, you're doing something after this. No, this is it. I flew from Saudi Arabia to here just to do this.
What was you in Saudi Arabia for?
I work there. I'm a business advisor, and I work for a family in Saudi Arabia. Hunting ghosts ain't paying what you might think.
Yeah,
So that's kind of like my secondary job, yeah.
Where are you originally from?
New York.
New York. So how do you end up in Saudi Arabia?
Oh, that's a long tale of woe and triumph. Long story short, I used to be a teacher. I taught English as a second language. A young guy came from Saudi Arabia and said, "You I like. I will buy you. Come to my country." Okay, he didn't really say that, but he did say, how'd you like to move to Saudi? I've been working for him ever since.
Wow, what's it like there?
As long as you don't like booze and women, it's great. Otherwise, it's a problem. Yeah, no booze, no women. Other than that.
So do you do any investigating around that area?
I'm actually trying to. There's a place there called the Spook House. It's supposed to be really haunted. It's been abandoned. It's a huge building. It's been abandoned for like 20 years because it's so famous for being haunted. But one of the things is they're not big on ghost hunts. They don't believe in ghosts. They believe in jinn, which is like these demon creatures that are what we call ghosts, pretty much. So it's kind of like hit and run. It's going old school. I gotta like run in there. Is there anyone here? No, and run my ass back out and get in the car.
So do you got to kind of keep it low on being interested in anything like that?
I think it's more like laughable to them.
Oh,
like
okay.
you're like, it'll be like, I am a professional Easter rabbit, hunter, and I've been looking for Santa Claus for over 5 years now. Like they just see ghosts as stupid. But if you said, well, I'm gonna look for jinn, they'd be like, my friend. Not look for jinn. Like they take that real serious.
Yeah. Well, how often do you do these events like this?
Not very often. I've been overseas so much. I've done a couple. I did Dragon Con in Atlanta. I did Comic Con out in San Diego. I try and do smaller events. I did Brandy's event in Minnesota that she's going to do every year. I did an event for Chad Kalick, a Paranormal State, those guys. So I try and do some of the small ones, meet some of the people, avoid some of the other guys around here. Out for the most part.
That's the same. All your competition's always around you. Is there a competition in this?
I think there is. You know what it is? It's for a lot of the American guys. There's competition for locations. So you've got Ghost Lab, you've got Ghost Adventures, you've got Paranormal State, all trying to get these different spots. Nobody's fighting us for our Costa Rican insane asylum. So I don't really feel competition with any of them. I'm not trying to be mean, but if this guy looks sideways at me one more time, he's getting knocked out. It is what it is. If we gotta throw, we gotta throw.
No, I don't. How did you first get involved with the whole Ghost Hunters deal?
I started, I was reading books when I was about 6, 7 years old. So when I knew how to read, my mom would drop us off at this bookstore that a friend owned. And I could sit there and read ghost books all day. Bigfoot, Loch Ness, all that stuff. I'm not like a lot of people that I had this big experience, like, oh, I saw a ghost at my friend's house. Never really saw a ghost. I just thought it was a really cool subject.
Well, that made you go into a more skeptical, I guess, and more reasonable on looking for things.
Yeah, and that's something I definitely maintained. You see a lot of these things today where people are like, what was that? And they assume it was a ghost when it's like, dude, if you're at home and you hear your house creak, you don't assume it's a ghost. You say, oh, that's just this, that's the sound the fridge makes. We gotta have the same view. In fact, more so. Is it a ghost or is it someone trying to steal your TV? It's one or the other. It's probably somebody going for your TV.
Well, it seems like being on the international, it seems to me, since everything's so much older there, the world's older there than it is here, it seems like there is a lot more opportunities to run into anything like that.
You know what? That's what everyone says, and that's what you'd expect, right? Like, that just makes sense. I don't think we found it to be true.
Oh, really?
One of the most active spots we went is one of the newest, and that was the Air Force Hospital in the Philippines, where they took the American guys from Vietnam when they were wounded and flew them over there. And that place was crazy. There was real weird stuff going on, and that place has only been around 40, 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
We did places that have been around 1,000 years, and nothing happened.
See, that to me it seems, it does make sense that you would find more in those older places.
It should. More people died there, more stuff happened there, and yet nada.
So what's the best piece of evidence you've seen so far that you were involved with?
One that I thought was pretty cool is there was a place that the priests used to stay, this home for retired priests. So supposedly abused kids. So they weren't the nicest characters. So I said, so why don't you tell me then, what's going to happen to me after I die? And right immediately after, you get an EVP saying, hell. And I said, whoa, well, you're a priest who abused kids, so what do you know? You know, but it was still pretty spooky. So yeah, man, some cool stuff.
Has there ever been a time where you got spooked and even questioned doing it anymore?
What am I, this guy? Oh, zinger.
That's funny.
No, I don't run. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of ghosts. You know what I mean? There's stuff I'm terrified of.
Yeah.
I hate flying. You know what I mean? I'll white knuckle it on flight. But ghosts? I'm not scared of some guy walking down the street, whether he's alive or dead. I don't care.
I got you. Well, man, just anything. What's going on in the near future with you? I mean,
a lot of stuff that's kind of like quiet and off the record. I'm talking to a couple networks about a couple things that are coming up, but I can't say too much about them. Then again, everyone says that, so I'll be like, I got a pretty big movie coming out. You might have heard of Paranormal Activity 3. This guy. No? Okay. It's worth a shot.